how to get to know people. And if you want to get to know your friends, what are the indicators that you are going to follow? How you can know how your friend is operating from what sort of approach the friend is operating. If you want to know your boss or a coworker, what are the references that you may have in order to understand where your boss or your coworker or friend are coming from? And the first thing that we need to outline is that people tend to fall into different personality categories. And that is based in their different mindsets, how they act and perceive things. Today, we are going to talk about one specific approach that we are going to use in order to get to know people. And we are going to talk about a well-known instrument and tool, which is called the Myers-Briggs system, that basically is going to give us information regarding the ways how people are going to behave and based in 4 dichotomies. The first one is introverts versus extroverts. Second one is about intuition versus sensing. Third, thinking versus feeling. And fourth, judging versus perceiving. All these 4 dichotomies are going to make at least 16 possible combinations of personality. So the benefit of the Myers-Briggs system will provide a helpful framework that will allow you to understand and to resolve the intricacies of other people's personalities. The good thing also is that you don't need to have a prior training in this method. You don't need to sit down and take the test. However, it's always beneficial to do these kind of things. But you can look at, observe your target, your friend, your coworker, or your boss, and determine through this approach with great accuracy where the person falls in the personality spectrum. Let's look at these 4 different dichotomies that make up the Myers-Briggs personality type. First of all, let's look at introvert versus extrovert. So what are the introvert kind of personality? Introverts are likely to be hesitant. They avoid social interactions and are generally withdrawn or cautious and keep their thoughts and feelings to themselves. On the other hand, someone who is very extroverted will be very interactive and utilize energy to be around others. So extroverted are very easily adaptable and very confident and enjoy social situations. So if you are in a party, the extrovert is going to be the life of the party. In the other case, if your friend, your coworker, avoids meeting people, like sitting in a quiet place and hardly shares what is on her mind, that maybe is talking about somebody who is introverted. And sometimes when somebody is very introverted and extremely introverted, the body language is going to show somebody who is very rigid in public places. So they are more comfortable spending time alone And the body language is going to be very close. And the tone of voice is also going to be soft in order to avoid attention on them. So extroverts, as we have seen, are the complete opposite. They like getting involved in conversations and like being around people. Now let's look at the other dichotomy. This is the second dichotomy, sensing versus intuition. Intuition is a great and natural ability that allows you to know about something without tangible proof or evidence. Intuition helps you to sense something wrong, good to come ahead. So you will see that people who have great intuition commonly have this sixth sense and the gut feeling to explore data more deeply. Intuitive people are future-oriented and believe in being innovative rather than following traditional trends. So people who believe in their intuition make decisions by being fully aware of the consequences ahead. They find different solutions to solve a problem by trusting their instincts. For instance, whenever an intuitive type encounters a challenge, they may use their sixth sense and intuition to make an informed decision. They may close their eyes, analyze the difficult situation in their head, and try to tap into their intuitive side to find an appropriate solution to the problem. On the other hand, people who have a strong sensory ability only believe what they see and experience. They make a decision with a conscious mind instead of trusting their subconscious mind. Sensory types are going to limit themselves to data and to not think beyond what can be tangibly proven. Sensing types believe in logic rather than trusting their sixth sense. They focus more on what is practical and closer to reality. So the sensing types will use their ideas and experiences to find a solution. In a conversation, they will say, I believe, I feel, I think, or in my opinion. Quite often, sensing types, however, start and end conversations with logic. How is the person you are analyzing? A sensing type or an intuitive type? And as we saw before, an introverted or an extroverted. Let's look now the third dichotomy that is going to be presented by the Myers-Briggs, which is thinking versus feeling. This dichotomy of thinking type versus feeling type refers to how people are going to make decisions. Thinkers, as obviously its name identify, are people who are going to make decisions based on a fact or a principle. So the thinkers are going to analyze the pros and cons of the situation and make a logical decision. In other words, they are going to make decisions using their brain instead of listening to their hearts. They always look for logical solutions and explanations while making decisions. So sometimes thinkers can be very personal and try to not to let their emotions cloud their reasoning or their judgment. They try to see the basic truth involved rather than relying on what other people may feel. On the other hand, those driven by emotions and feelings value these two elements more than logical thought and reasoning. If you make decisions, keeping in mind the views and sentiments of other people involved in the situation. It means you value feelings more than logical reasoning, and therefore you belong to the feeling category. So, do you feel that your target is a thinking type or more of a feeling type when they make their decisions? Do they base their decisions in logic or facts? Or are they more concerned about the emotions of other people and value that over complete honesty? Finally, we get into the fourth dichotomy, judging versus perceiving. So we are going to learn that someone who has a judging style of personality is well prepared for the outer world. Such people are well organized, good planners, and to avoid the stress, give the best in every aspect of the endeavors that are going to be involved with. They believe in doing work beforehand and work best before meeting deadlines. So judging can sometimes have more of a rigid body language, a fast walking pace, or quick manner, and can sometimes show the concern regarding work. On the other hand, someone who has a perceiving personality type is more flexible in adapting to new situations and changes. Compared to someone with a judging personality, because they have a strong self-belief. The perceiving types are comfortable making decisions without any specific plans and are good at multitasking. They are going to avoid involving themselves in activities that drive them away from their freedom of experimenting. Someone who has a perceiving personality will have a more relaxed body posture with high spirit. So in many cases, perceiving personalities will believe in having light conversations, allowing others to share their ideas and then not to engage in stressful conversations regarding work. So is the person you are analyzing more of a judging type or perceiving type? Do they approach life as it were a checklist of accomplishments? Or are they more easygoing and up to freestyle, not completely sure about their next move? Now that you have identified the 4 dimensions of personality as displayed by your target, so you can look up their personality type online and read a full summary of their personality. One great website you can use for this is 16personality.com or Myers-Briggs.org. Thank you.